So anything that they need to know really specifically about Memphis before we kind of
Yeah, just
go over the
real
next thing?
briefly, I mean, Memphis has been a fantastic market for us. We've been there. We've been doing deals there for about 3 years now. It's a little higher price point than the Indianapolis market. Same general type of dynamic. Stabilized market, not really high in appreciation, but actually exceeding what we were kind of thinking it was going to do. The average purchase price in Memphis is probably about $140,000 up to about the very top high-end deals that we've done out there kind of max out at about $220,000. I'd say our average purchase price in Memphis is probably about $170,000, $165,000, $170,000. Great markets for us, very stable, and yeah, I think that.
Awesome. So Memphis has been a really good market, and what Steven does is he kind of goes through some of the details like Ryan did about Memphis. But one of the things that we really wanted to talk about that I think is really exciting is what is happening with this team and in this market right now, and what kind of an expansion can we expect with the Memphis market and what's going on?
So one of the things we're really excited about, and we love working with Stephen Green and his team out there, Jamie Green, Morgan Tate's our property manager. Some of the, you can see, you know, especially listening to Ryan and Jeff and Jody in the markets, we've got great teams that are out there, and we spent a lot of time trying to develop those teams. One of the benefits as we've tried to expand our offerings, as inventory gets tighter and tighter, as we've been kind of talking about, prices are going up, and we're starting to look for new opportunities and new markets. One of the things that we found is just, you know, as opposed to going completely to an entirely new market, which we do, if we can find new avenues and new inventory in existing markets, that is exciting for us because all of the same teams are in place. The property management team is the same. The brokerages that we use are the same. The title companies we use are the same. The rehab companies can be the same. And so there's a lot of synergy that comes from being able to just expand outside a little bit. Memphis, we've got a really exciting opportunity that we're just starting to look into, and we're at the point where we're ready to start talking about it a little bit. As we talked about, Memphis has been a great market for us. The areas that we usually buy in Memphis were usually in the Bartlett area, the Cordova area that's kind of right here. This is kind of downtown Memphis, the 240 belt loop that goes all the way around it. Airport is here, you know, so we're kind of buying all in these areas for our existing inventory.
Hi everyone, my name is Stephen Green, and I am the Done For You real estate boots on the ground in Memphis, Tennessee. My wife and I are in charge of the Memphis market, and so if you have or plan on purchasing any homes in Memphis or have done in the past or plan to do so in the future, you will have either already met us or will in the future. So wanted to introduce myself today. I'm going to take a little bit of time and talk to you about the Memphis market. For those of you who do not know, Memphis is obviously in Tennessee. It's in the southwest corner of the state. On the west side, it is bordered by the Mississippi River. On the other side of that is the state of Arkansas. On the south side is the state of Mississippi. And so Memphis, unlike a lot of the other major cities that you're probably used to, which have growth kind of going all the way around the city, Memphis, because it's based in the southwest corner of the state, all of the growth happens east because it can't go west, which would be in Arkansas, and it can't go south, which is Mississippi. A little bit goes north, but majority of it goes east, and the areas that we focus in are on the eastern side right before you get into the suburbs. So just a little geography for you as it pertains to Memphis. Memphis is the second largest city in the state of Tennessee. The population of the city is roughly 650,000, actually slightly over that. And then the Memphis and surrounding area, or the MSA, is a little over 1.3 million. Some of the reasons why people or investors choose Memphis is the low cost of living. Memphis's cost of living is roughly 15 to 20% below the national average. So you get a lot of bang for your buck when you invest in the Memphis market. In addition, we have a great price to rent ratio. So not only are you getting a lot of house for the money, but you're also getting a lot of rent for the low price of the home, which then translates into cash flow, which is awesome for you investors out there. And one of the reasons why this occurs in Memphis is because roughly half of the population rents in the city. And so you have homes, and you're able to buy them for a really good price, and then you have a lot of competition on the rental side of them, and which again translates into some good cash flow. So some positives there. The average home price in Memphis is just over $170,000, and for those of you that have already bought, that really does get you a lot of house. Typically a brick 3-bed, 2-bathroom house, newer roof, covered parking, and one that will rent for a good amount. So we've had good success in Memphis, and we think that we will continue to have some great success in the city. Some of the other positive things about the city that I want to talk to you guys about is kind of why Memphis. And one of the main drivers in Memphis, economic drivers, is distribution. Memphis is kind of known as America's distribution center. And one of the things that we say in Memphis is that Memphis has the 4 R's, which is road, rail, runway, and river. So it has the 4 R's, which makes it a great spot for distribution. And I'm going to go through a little bit of that with you. Number one would be number one will be runway, which is airport. So Memphis's airport has for 23 years in a row been the busiest airport in terms of volume in the entire country, 23 years in a row. Reasons for that would be FedEx is obviously headquartered here, so you have a massive amount of planes coming and going every single day from Memphis. You also have a major hub with UPS, and so a lot of planes coming in, not necessarily passenger, but a lot of distribution type flights coming in and leaving the city of Memphis. It's the second busiest airport in the world behind Hong Kong, and so a lot of packages coming and going through the city of Memphis, which also translates into jobs. You also have runway. So runway, rail. Sorry, the 4 R's get confusing. You also have rail. So we have the ability to reach 45 states within 48 hours from Memphis, which makes it a great spot to set up when you're a rail company. We're also one of only 4 cities in the entire country with 5 Class 1 rail companies, rail systems, and then we're the 3rd largest rail city in the country behind Chicago and St. Louis. We're served by Union Pacific, BNSF, which just did over the past couple of years a $200 million improvement to their facility. We have Norfolk Southern, Canadian, National, and CSX Corporation. So served by all 5, and only one of 4 cities in the entire country that has all 5 rail companies located. On the road, we serve 152 markets through overnight truck service, and that's the most in the entire country. So Memphis serves more cities or locations with overnight trucking than any other city in the entire country. So pretty big deal there. And then on the river side, we're the 5th largest inland port in the country. So a lot of goods coming and going through the Memphis port, actually more than the New Orleans port, surprisingly. So all of this translates into jobs, which is a good thing for people wanting to live in the city, renting or buying. So some good stuff there. Also on the distribution side, just a couple of big names that have big presence on distribution. One would be FedEx, of course. You also have Target. Nike has over almost 5 million square feet of distribution facility here in the city of Memphis. And Williams-Sonoma has almost 3 million square feet of distribution warehouse space in the city of Memphis. So just a couple, and then Ford Motor Company as well has over 1 million. So just a couple of the big names that have distribution centers or facilities in the city of Memphis. It is a main economic driver for the city. In addition to distribution would be healthcare. Memphis is the second largest ortho device manufacturing city in the country. We have Wright Medical, Smith & Nephew, Medtronic, just to name a few. So a lot of orthopedic parts are manufactured in Memphis, and then you have the distribution center that can then ship them out to the rest of the country. So you have orthopedic. You also have St. Jude Children's Hospital, which is the number 4 hospital in the country for children's cancer research, according to a 2016 study. We also have ALSAC, which is their fundraising arm, and that's the 5th largest healthcare charity in the country. And healthcare, or St. Jude, employs roughly 3,200 doctors, researchers, fellows, staff workers. So it's a pretty big operation going on in the city. Most of everyone that we talk to have heard of St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. You also have Baptist Hospitals, which has 6 different hospitals around the Memphis area. Methodist has 7 different hospitals around the Memphis area, including Le Bonheur Children's Research Hospital. And then University of Tennessee, the state school, their medical school is located in the city of Memphis as well. So healthcare, another big economic driver in Memphis. Some of the major headquarters that are located in Memphis, because they also have seen the value either with location as it pertains to distribution and getting goods sent out, or the cost of living and being able to find a place that is affordable for not only the headquarters to be located in for the company expenses, but also for their employees, a place where their employees can move to and afford a quality home and way of life. And some of the major headquarters, just to name a few: FedEx, AutoZone is based here, International Paper is based here, ServiceMaster, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which I already named, Medtronic's spine headquarters is based here, Wright Medical, Hunter Fan, Ducks Unlimited. So just a couple of the bigger companies. Mid-America Apartments, which is a REIT, a publicly traded REIT, they're based in Memphis as well. So some big headquarters located here. They've seen the value in Memphis as well. So some of the positive things that have happened this previous year has been ServiceMaster has moved to downtown, their headquarters has, and they made a pretty significant investment into the city of Memphis, which resulted in roughly 1,200 new jobs being created. So that was positive. Evergreen Packaging also invested some money, moved their headquarters in Memphis. Sedgwick Claims Management was moving their headquarters into a different location. They were already in Memphis, but moving locations and also adding a little over 200 new jobs in the Memphis market. IKEA came to Memphis. IKEA is the first IKEA in the state of Tennessee, so it was a big win for Memphis, a big deal. I know some people have had IKEA for years and years. It was a big deal because the only IKEA around us was either in Atlanta, which is about a 6 to 7 hour drive, and St. Louis, which is about 5 or 6 hours. So Memphis, first IKEA in the state of Tennessee. There's no IKEA in the state of Kentucky, there's no IKEA in the state of Mississippi, and there's not one in Arkansas either. So that's bringing, funny enough, a lot of people coming to Memphis just to visit the IKEA. You also had St. Jude made a massive announcement at the beginning of 2017 saying that they were going to expand the Pinch District, which is the northern part of downtown Memphis where St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is. They're going to do a $7 billion expansion over several years, which is going to add roughly 1,800 jobs over that time period. So a huge expansion happening with St. Jude, which will bring a lot of positive, high-paying jobs to the city of Memphis as well. So some great things. What else is planned for in the near future? Amazon announced that they're bringing a fulfillment center to the city of Memphis on the south side near Shelby Drive, which is on the south side of town. That's going to add over 600 jobs. Cargill is adding an animal protein production plant, which is going to add almost 200 new jobs to the city of Memphis. And then St. Jude, as I mentioned, is doing the expansion, and that is going to be adding jobs again over the next several years, but quite a few jobs coming to Memphis. So some positive momentum coming into 2018. We feel like that prices, in terms of home prices, for the next several years are going to rise. We're feeling 8%. We're estimating 8% over the next 3 years. So that may look like 4%, 2 and 2, or maybe 3 and 2, but a steady growth. I think in terms of appreciation, we think that rents are going to rise roughly 8% over the next couple of years. Things have been improving in Memphis on the housing market, and we think that that's going to continue forward. The average home price, again, was higher, 5% higher than the previous year. So prices went up from 2016 to 2017, 5%. Bank sales were down this past year by 35%, and traditional sales were up by about 10%. So again, pendulum swinging in the right direction. I said earlier, I mistakenly said rent prices are going to rise 8% over the next couple of years. We feel like home prices are actually going to rise 3 to 5% for each of the next 3 years. So we think 3 to 5% for each of the next 3 years in terms of home prices. So again, a great place to invest. We hope that you will look at Memphis when you're thinking about places to put your dollars in terms of buying an investment property that is going to produce some cash flow. We think of Memphis as kind of your dividend stock play. It's a good cash flow market that's going to be paying, and then with the time that you're investing, you're also going to be getting some positive appreciation. So it's a win-win, and we hope to meet you guys soon. Thanks so much. Talk soon. Bye-bye.